Join UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Seth Harp, Harp on Sports with you here on this Tuesday. What do we have in store for you on this edition of the episode? Flying solo today. I have the rest of the week lined out. Edgar Thompson is going to be joining me on Wednesday as we look at spring practice and look at some recruiting news as we start to look ahead a little bit to what's on the horizon. And looking at draft stock as well. So Edgar's going to join me tomorrow. He was going to join me today, but we're going to push it tomorrow, just get some more information and have a better rounded out show for you. A little later on in the week, there's a certain play-by-play voice of somebody in the Final Four that's going to join us as well. I just want to lay a little tidbit as we start to look ahead a little bit to what we got coming up a little later on in the week. When it comes to this edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning, of course, as always, courtesy of the Titan MRI hotline. You want to hop on, Meldon Law, Facebook Live questions, fire away. More than happy to answer those as they come in, as long as they are relevant pertaining to the subject matter that we're going to discuss. Of course, news and notes. The women's basketball team falls to Bowling Green last night in the grade 8 is what they call it of the women's NIT. Okay, Kelly Ray Finley, was it a great year? No. But, in situations like this, after what happened in the SEC tournament, good for her, good for the program. Picked up a couple wins, got to play 3 more games together, and now they start to set their sights and their eyes forward to next year. And of all the Gator programs right now, baseball is the one that has the most optimism. Right? The baseball team win a national championship. Gymnastics can win a national championship. We've known that. But you look around at programs to be really optimistic about. Basketball, what do we call it? Trajectory? Rising. Baseball, we know is rising. Gymnastics is rising. Basketball's rising, isn't it? At least on the women's side of things. So good news on that front. Okay. Yeah. Morning, everybody. Let's see. A couple things. One of the things that I want to start with is when I watched this last night and I saw highlights of it. It's funny because of how information has changed, how we go about consuming information. Breaking news, 80 to 90% of the time, I get breaking news from Twitter. I do. It's the most up-to-date, most precise thing that we have in real time. Now you need to decipher between what's real and what's not. And you saw that a little bit on Monday with that unfortunate school shooting that claimed the lives of 6 people. But information, breaking news, it comes through Twitter. So last night I'm watching and I'm seeing highlights of Bronny James. And I started to think, clout matters. It does. And if I were Todd Golden, if I were Gator basketball, I'd call Bronny James. Look, plenty of money. He's got money and brand and, his pops is ahead of the game on everything. He is. Whether it was investing in Blaze Pizza, his dad is a businessman. It's funny because LeBron James reminds me more of Apollo Creed than any other athlete on TV, and you know what I mean, in fiction. Apollo Creed was a businessman first, and LeBron James is a businessman. He understands the business of sport. Most people don't. He does. And that's how you become a billionaire. That's how you leave a lasting legacy. If I were the Florida Gators, I would get a hold of LeBron's people and say, whatever you want us to do for Bronny, we'll do it. What do you want? Does Does Bronny want to bring a friend with him to play basketball? We'll do it. We love him for to be comfortable here. What do you want? What does the James family want to bring Bronny to Gainesville? What do you want? What would you like? Tell us. We'll get it done. Because the arc of the men's programs, and we talked about this last week, and it upset people, and that's fine. The arc of these programs is what? It's stationary, it's lane, no left turns. It's like, we're going to, when people say that, you're on the wrong path, we need a course correction, right? Well, where we are with Florida Gator basketball and Florida Gator football is what? You're on the same path. You're not going to stop and ask for directions. You're keeping on nothing's changed. Oh, we're going to change. How? There's people that I work with. Oh, well, we're going to get there. How? What's the plan? Oh, it'll all work itself out. No, it won't. No, it won't. Imagine if a pilot thought that way. Stabilizers. Engine stalling. It'll all work itself out. No, you have to follow the plan. You have to check. Okay, what are we going to do? How do we fix this? How do we change this? If I were the Florida Gator athletic program, look, you got the Jordan brand, right? The one thing about Florida, it's a cool institution. It's a cool institution. It is. It has some swagger to it. Believe it or not, that still exists. Use it. Build it. Grow it. People are drawn to stars. We've talked about this numerous times, right? Everybody loves the name on the front of the jersey, but you win because of the name on the back of the jersey. UConn's going to win the national title because Sonogo is the best player in the tournament left. That's why they're going to win. The Golden State Warriors won an NBA title last year because Steph Curry is out of his mind in the NBA Finals. The Chiefs won because of the Mahomes name on the back of the jersey, not the Chiefs logo on the front. So that's how you win. You win with stars. If I'm the Florida Gator basketball program, red carpet, blue carpet, Bronny James, what do you want? What do you want? And then that's where you bring in advertisers, you bring in LeBron, you make this a thing. And I would sell it as, he's got teammates, he's got buddies. And again, you don't want this to turn into Bronny James and 6 of his friends, but I would offer him, hey, what do you want? What do you want us to do? What can we do to help you? How do we build? Bronny, do this. And the clout and the stature that you'll get from Bronny James would be through the roof. I see you guys rock it, Joe. I'd rather suck at basketball than be woke. Then suck, Joe. By all means. What does woke have to do with it? Well, what does that even have to do with it? Bro, you don't even know the kid. Woke. You guys don't, I don't think people understand that term. What's the line? It's Inigo Montoya, right? Princess Bride. You keep using that word, but I don't think you know what it means. Cliff Neal. Hell no. Yeah, let's keep not making the NCAA tournament. Let's not change anything. Let's keep what we're doing. Wes Markham, couldn't disagree with you more. Guys, you don't have to agree with me. Fine. Knock yourself out. Keep losing. Keep losing. I right now am about 12 pounds over my target weight, my fighting weight. I'm about 12 pounds over. Okay, what am I going to do to lose that weight? Well, I just need to focus. No, you need to change something. Right now, you know what the Gator basketball program, the Gator basketball program is in terms of athleticism? They're the person that says, I need a lifestyle change. I need to get back in shape. Tomorrow. Yeah, I need to get back in shape. My diet starts Monday. I need to get back in shape. You know what I'm going to do? Still going to eat fast food twice a day. But now I'm going to start drinking Diet Coke. Yes. Yes. Yes, is what I'm going to do. No. You need a jolt to the system. Bronny James is that jolt. Now, here's the thing. To get him to come here, you're going to have to do things. You're going to have to roll out, like I said, the blue carpet. But LeBron brings clout. Bronny brings clout. It brings stature. And the one thing the Gator basketball program has right now is zero stature. We mentioned this before. These programs aren't innovative anymore. They're not ahead of the game. As we mentioned, the one thing about the Florida product has always been Gatorade ahead of the game, 70s ahead of the game. Here comes Spurrier, fun and gun, quarterback out, fast, fast, fast. I kill you, fast, fun, fun. It was fun. Billy Donovan basketball, fun. Jay Williams, fun. It was always ahead of the curve. Always. Florida Gator sports. It used to be Dr. Dre. It used to be Snoop Dogg. It used to be Tupac. It was fun. It was ahead of the game. It was enjoyable. Had swagger to it. Now, have you seen it? Have you seen it lately? Parking lot. Past doesn't pay the present, baby. Past doesn't pay the present. Don't believe all my accolades of the past. It doesn't pay the mortgage. Yeah. And that's a great question. Well, Nat writes in, Bronny's not all that. He's not even close to his dad. Didn't say he was. Didn't say what. He's good. That's the thing. Yeah, is he his dad? No, he's not. But he's still a pretty good baseball player or basketball player. He's still pretty good. Still one of the top 20 players. He's still one of the top 20 players in this class. What, Florida can't use one of the top? It's funny. I see you guys like, LeBron's kid's not that good. Compared to what you've had, you tell me the last time this program has had a player as good as Bronny James. He's not all that. Boy, oh boy. But right now, the fans of this program are acting like a guy that hasn't been on a date in 2 years, and he's at the Miss America pageant going, I don't know if I want to date Miss Colorado. That's what you guys are acting like. I don't know if I want Bronny James. I don't know if I want him. I don't know if he fits what we want here. It's the equivalent of going to the Miss America pageant going, I'm not quite sure. Is Miss Missouri? I don't want to know. Miss Missouri's not one of the top 10 finalists. Oh my gosh, guys. He's not what? He's not one of the, of course. Don't sell your soul to the devil. What to do? Cliff, what do you want to do then? What do you want to do? Stay the course. Stay the course. Again, watching Bronny James last night, I thought after seeing that last night, I thought, wait a second here. Here's a plan to get the program back on track, to make it relevant, to make it interesting, to make it fun, to bring in a top 20 player. Offer Bronny James the world. Meet with his pops. What do you want? You tell us how we can help you. What do you think recruiting is? Do you think Texas got Arch Manning because of the uniform colors? Do you? Did Duke get Zion Williamson because of the medical center? How did they get him? They got him because they sold him on a vision. They sold him on a plan. They sold him on a path. Bronny, start your own podcast network. What do you want? What would you like? And for people, hey, well, I don't. What about He's not ready for the NBA right away. Isn't that a good thing? Don't you want the cat around more than? You tell me right now, Bronny James, if you put him on the court right now with the Florida Gator men's basketball team, where would he rank amongst the top 10 players? This is this past season. You put Bronny James on the court, where would he rank amongst the top of the 12 guys on this roster? Where would he rank? Bronny James. This year. He'd have started. PodUp with Matthews in the morning. A service. Celebration Point. where the Gators come to celebrate. You bring in Bronny James, you'll be celebrating all the time. Premium brands like Nike, International Diamond Center, Dave & Buster's, Bass Pro Shop, Regal Cinemas, Visors Rooftop, and the HBC's Restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We'll see you at Celebration Point, where Gators come to celebrate. Hey, look. Greg writing in, it was fun because we were winning and recruited good players. Oh, and Bronny's a top 20 player. What do you know? What do you know? Wasn't Kugel a top recruit? He's a good recruit. Wasn't top 10. And he is good. He is good. Kugel is good. Imagine he and Bronny together. Look, the likelihood of you getting him, you're going to have to roll out the world. Cliff, does he flop on the court as good as his dad? I don't know. Will he break Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time scoring record? It's funny how you guys, it's funny how this generation, my generation, has such a disdain for LeBron James, who's the greatest scorer in the history of the NBA. Won 4 NBA titles. Multiple gold medals. He flops. He flops. See him? Pretends that he got fouled. I saw Derek Jeter once pretend that he got hit in the hand. All right, there we go. Bronny James, blue carpet, roll it out, bring LeBron and add some swagger back to this program. Or guy, keep your path. Keep your path. I love watching the Gators in the NIT. Fantastic. I love watching Oral Roberts because of elite guard play blow past this team in the second half of NCAA tournament games. Keep doing what you're doing. A lot of fun. All right, little Bronny Bliss for you to start the show today. I want to pivot to this, and because I think it's, and then I got some SEC supremacy stuff for you. I saw this yet. We talked about interest yesterday, the Final Four. Talked about consumption. And I saw this. I think it's fascinating that it happened so quickly. I saw the resale market yesterday. Again, I don't listen to what people say. I watch what you do. Don't listen to what people say. A long time ago, I'm never drinking again. I'm never going to watch that. I sat in. I'd been at the radio station a couple months in Gainesville when they got rid of the Gator bait chant. And I felt bad for Steve Russell that day. 2 hours of calls. I'm never coming to another Gator game again. I'm never going to watch again. I'm never coming again. I won't ever go again. The Gator bait chant. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Yeah, Sure you are. Then it led to a team that competed for the SEC title, and it led to, well, Kyle Pitts is the best player I've ever seen in a Gator uniform. Well, I thought you weren't going anymore. Quit listening. I'm never drinking again. I'm never eating there again. Oh my God, I'm never going to. Quit listening to what people say a long time ago. Watch what you consume. For the first time, women's Final Four tickets are in higher demand than men's Final Four tickets. Let that sink in. For the first time ever, women's Final Four tickets are in higher demand than men's Final Four tickets. Right now, the resale value, StubHub, we're in a StubHub, the get-in number for the women's Final Four is $200. The get-in number for the men's Final Four is $147. Well, the arena's bigger. It's bigger last year, too. It's bigger the year before. Actually, college basketball, the men's Final Four, has been played inside of football stadiums for 20 years now. And not as in football stadiums is the old layout like the RCA Dome, where you cut the field in half and you drop the tent or the backdrop and you play it sideline to sideline. Now it courts 50-yard line, end zone to end zone. Love it. Why? Because it shows you. It doesn't matter what you say. It matters what you do. The women's Final Four tickets cost more than the men's Final Four tickets right now. Name brands matter. They do. Now, I'm all for a free tournament, free-flowing marketplace. The teams that win get their win. But what this shows you is why you should reseed. Well, you should reseed. Once you get to the Sweet 16, you should reseed this thing. Football reseeds. If the 7th seed beats the 2 seed, the NFL playoffs reseed. They reseed, don't they? You see that in the NFL when you look at the playoff picture. Okay, if this team wins here, then okay, you'll play this team instead of this team. It's not a straight up bracket. And nothing is more popular than the NFL. Nothing. So I can't wait and this will eventually be a debate when it comes to the college football playoff. Should they reseed once we go to 12? It will eventually be a discussion. It will be. It just is going to be. Wait and see what happens the first time an 11 seed wins in the college football playoff. And see what everybody thinks when that rolls around and like the 1 seed is playing the 5 seed when you have like Georgia playing Ohio State and there's an 11 seed that won that knocked off somebody that's sitting around like, hey, this isn't fair. No, that would go away to stop what you just had this year a little bit or to solve it. But look, everybody that loves the little guy, that cheers for the little guy, we talked about this on Monday's show. Great. Glad you do. But nobody ever consumes and watches the little guy. Nobody, at the end of the day, nobody ever stops and just soaks it all in. They love it, say they love it. Oh man, this is awesome. This is great. This is awesome. The little guy won. This is great. Then you don't turn around and watch him. And that's where we are here. That's where we are with the Final Four. So I always like to revisit things. And look, there's things I get wrong. I'm more than happy to tell you when I get them wrong. You make mistakes. Steph Curry does turn the ball over. Patrick Mahomes throws interceptions. Muhammad Ali lost a couple fights. I'm not in the I'm going to get everything right business. I'm in the building brands business. I'm in the interesting business. I want interesting. I want good. I want fun. Tradition's great, but if tradition doesn't win, I don't want it. You could build a brand on it. Look, Golden State was an afterthought in the NBA 15 years ago. Now they're an elite product. The New England Patriots in the 80s and early 90s were one of the worst franchises, if not the worst franchise in the NFL. Now, talk about one of the top 5 franchises in the history of the league. The Bulls were nothing in the 80s. They were nothing. Afterthought. Seattle Seahawks, nothing. Oh, boy. Pete Carroll and a couple runs later, pretty interesting franchise, right? So, again, you can build brands. You can grow products. It's just how interesting and how relevant you make them. So, again, information always out there front and center for you. And what we harken back on, look back on from Monday's show is I told you there was not going to be much interest for the Final Four. And already nobody wants to buy tickets to it. You've got FAU, and this is their own fans. Think about this. The difference between the Final Four and football is what? You have 4 fan bases funneling into the Final Four. Football, you only get 2. Same amount of time, right? About the same amount of time between the national championship game and the college football playoff. A couple more days, 2 more days. But you got 4 teams funneling into a place. So you have FAU not buying tickets. UConn, a blue blood program, but Miami not buying tickets. San Diego State. And this isn't exactly one of those Final Fours that's located like in LA. It's located in Houston. It's located right in the middle of America, right? That's a 2-hour flight for anybody. There you go. PodUp with Matthews in the morning is a courtesy of Comfort Tent. It's going to be warm, a little rainy today. Comfort is their business. Peace of mind is the promise. Beat the summer heat and schedule your air conditioners tune up today, keeping you chill and the Florida heat far away. Comfort Heat. Comfort Temp and Heating. Give them a call today. 352-376-2366. That's Comfort Temp, where comfort is their business. All right. I'm going to look. Got a couple other things I want to get to. One was with Gator baseball as they get ready to take on Florida State, something that, what we're witnessing here. And it ties into something else. And that other thing is little SEC supremacy. Miami just used the NIL to purchase big-time athletes in both men's and women's basketball. And it worked. It worked. I'm always thinking about, okay, well, Florida, we have no money. We need money. We need more money for NIL. We need more money for NIL. I told you a Monday Night Football product on Amazon that could be a $500 million a year contract could turn, you could pay every player on your team and all teams 250 grand a year. Something else the SEC could do. You want to be the Supreme Conference? You want to look, the Big Ten's making more money than you. Another way to fix this, you want to be the Supreme Conference in every sport? There's a solution to it. We'll tell you what it is next. We've reached halftime here on PodUp with Matthews in the Morning. I'm Seth Harp. Coming up, a little SEC supremacy for you with PodUp with Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peaceland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise.
Campus USA Credit Union.
QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, and watch. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Doreen Wibby, Realtor Caldwell Banker, MM Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Aver and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith understands your joint pain.
It does not surprise me that there are a ton of people out there that's in pain.
That's why Emmitt is such a proponent of QC Kinetics, offering real lasting joint pain relief with non-surgical, all-natural biologic treatments.
Whether it's a joint pain, ankle pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, any kind of pain, the body eventually will break down when it's under that much stress.
That stress can cloud your judgment to the point that you'll just say yes to the scalpel or yes to another prescription of pain pills. But maybe it's time for a second opinion from QC Kinetics.
The reason why I would recommend this is because the natural biologics that QC Kinetics is providing you gives your body a chance to naturally heal itself.
Restorative, regenerative solutions are here. Get lasting relief and live your life.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Second half, PodUp with Matthews in the Morning. Seth Harp, Harp on Sports. Quick reminder to everyone, you want to be a part of it? Fire away, baby. Facebook Live, courtesy of Meldon Law, the only official law firm injury partner of the Florida Gators. Also, I join you from my hellacious Harp on Sports bar studio here, courtesy of Titan MRI and the Titan MRI hotline, video line, good stuff. What we've talked about today is if I'm Todd Golden, if I'm the University of Florida, I roll out the blue carpet. Bronny James, after watching that last night, the excitement around this young man, is he as good as his dad? No. But if you're waiting around, Florida's the program right now in basketball that is it the Miss America pageant? This is where the mindset of this program is right now. I'm not saying it's where Todd Golden is. I'm saying it's the mindset. I just watch your guys' interaction. I hear from you all the time. You're the person that's at the Miss America pageant and you're like, I'm only going to date one of the top 10 finalists. It's like, oh my gosh, guys, are you kidding me? I don't know about Miss Rhode Island. I don't know. No, Miss Arkansas. I don't know. It's like, oh my gosh, you're crazy. You insane. So that's where this program is. Top 50. He's one of the top 25, top 20 players in the country. Roll out the blue carpet for him. Do it. What's funny about this is he's considering schools like what? UCLA. He's considering, he talked about North Carolina, Ohio State, but yet Florida, we don't want him around. And I see comments, I don't want to be a woke school. What is that? You can't even define. What does that even mean? So you're going to have LeBron James, all of LeBron James's stature, his money. The dude's almost a billionaire with his business. And you're going to create a lifelong bond and relationship with LeBron James by bringing Bronny in here. And you say, no, we don't want that. Oh my gosh. Tell me you don't get it by telling me you don't get it. Oh, good gracious. And I was thinking about this too. Businesses evolve, right? People break up. Over 50% of marriages end in divorce. People get fired. Heck, there'll be one game with one bad play, and again, fire him. I've seen, we need to fire Napier. We need to fire Todd Golden. We need to fire Sully. Good gracious. Oh my gosh. For the last 2 years, all I've heard is fire Sully. Sully needs to go. Sully needs to go. Nothing the last 6 weeks. Nothing. Now, the difference between me, members of the media, and you guys are, you can write comments on Facebook and they disappear. I say something, you remember it for 2 years, which is fine. The business I've chosen, Michael Corleone. But I remember, he needs to go. Fire Sully. I'm not in the I need to get rid of this guy, fire this person business. I'm not. But I can do this. I can tell you this. I am in the growth business. I'm in the brand building business. And if you're the SEC and you want to build this conference into a monster, which, look, keeping up with the Big Ten, because that's the one that has the most money. And the people that have the most money usually win. Afford the better coaches. It took the Big Ten a while to figure out, wait a second, we need to get better coaches. We need to grow this. If I'm the SEC, I start to begin the plan, and I saw that this last weekend. Oh my God. It's time for both Mississippi schools to say goodbye and South Carolina. If I'm the Southeastern Conference, look, again, over 50% of marriages end in divorce. The Packers traded Brett Favre. They're about ready to trade Aaron Rodgers. Michael Jordan played for the Wizards. Breakups happen. People go to other places. People see other things. People do other things. The SEC needs to buy out Mississippi, Mississippi State, and South Carolina and replace them with Miami, Duke, and North Carolina. Mississippi and Mississippi State. I love the atmosphere in baseball. Florida could learn a lot from Mississippi and Mississippi State's atmosphere. You had Duke and North Carolina to this conference. You had Miami to this conference. That's the move, isn't it? Now I thought about this, Arkansas, Oklahoma State, okay. But if you want to continue to build the brand of the Southeastern Conference and you want to continue to grow, and that's why the Big Ten, the Big Ten Network, makes so much money. And the payout for the Big Ten per team is going to be about $15-20 million more coming up here in 4 years than the SEC, about $20 million more. Well, what? Oh, that's just $20 million. We can get that from their boosters. Gang, over a 10-year stretch, it's $200 million. Northwestern's about ready to build, what, a $700-800 million football stadium because of this, because of the money. Your kids' little league team, high school teams, it's fun. It's sports. Once you get to the collegiate level, the major collegiate level, it's a business. Once these television networks launch, it's a business. If I were the SEC, I'm building brands. Now, look, this happens. And the best example I give you is professional wrestling. Bad wrestler out. Okay, we're going to move this. We're going to bring this guy in because it's about stars. It's about programs. It's about brands. Same thing. Same thing here. And I'm just trying to think about what each of these schools bring to the conference. I know what Texas brings. I know what Oklahoma brings. I know what A&M brings. Missouri was brought in to bring in the Kansas City and St. Louis markets. That's why Missouri was brought in. Oh, okay. The Mississippi schools don't have markets in the top 200. They don't bring anything. Nothing. Tradition. Yeah. Good luck paying the mortgage with tradition. And look, it's symbolic of what's happening in Gainesville. It's symbolic. Everybody loves tradition, loves the past. You know who doesn't? Progress. All of those old bars and restaurants downtown on University, gone. The grog's about ready to go bye-bye too. And within 5 or 6 years, that little area there in Midtown is going to be gone as well. Why? Because you make more money throwing up 6-story apartment high-rises. Put little things underneath. I don't like it. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. That's where we're going. Do you want to compete or not? You want to compete or not? Do you? It's the same people like, I don't like social media. I hate social media. No, you don't. You're watching me right now. You don't hate it that much. I see people too. I don't like you on the air. I don't like it when you fill in, Seth, as you comment for the 13th time in the 40th minute of the show. What? Am I lying to you? Am I not telling you the truth? So again, we're in the progress business. We're in the growth business. And I look at what, the Big Ten brought in Rutgers and the Big Ten brought in Maryland to bring in DC, Washington, and New York City. Media rights, you can sell them for larger, pump them in. Man, Duke, North Carolina. Again, and I'm bringing this up because the University of Florida, again, I've mentioned this, has coaches going to fraternities asking to donate money. Asking you, for $9.99 a month, you can be part of this NIL package. You're going to get insider information. You're getting insider information. But you can feel that you're competing. You can feel that you are being a part of it. And I've always been I love advertisements on fields. I love advertisements on jerseys. Yeah, the more that some corporate entity is paying so I don't have to pay more money, yes, why not? Why not? Go for it. Better product. I want a better product. I want better players. And how do you get better players? You expand the brand. Well, how do you expand the brand? You make the brand more relevant. You bring in more money, more players. Cycle. The business isn't that. Think about this. If you're at Apple, if you are at Amazon, think about where you are in the corporate board. Think about sports media. What's Fox doing? Fox lets ESPN build the guys and they steal them away. Think about the last 4 years. They just took the Bear off College Game Day. They just took Tom Rinaldi off College Game Day. Didn't they? They let ESPN and they pay him. They pay him more money. Think these guys are leaving for less money? So you need to create more revenue. And, and to me at this point, Mississippi, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Miami, Duke, North Carolina. Miami has already showed the propensity to me that they're willing to pay to win. They have. Miami's already showed me they're going to pay to win. They're going to pay big bucks to win. Okay, so I know Miami's going to throw around some money. They're going to compete. I know Duke and Carolina are the brands that they are. Quick, give me the downside of this. What's the downside? What's the downside of the Southeastern Conference booting Mississippi, Mississippi State, and South Carolina, and adding Duke, North Carolina, and Miami? What's the downside? I'm on growth and building. I am. So when I was sitting there watching, the Gators play this last weekend against Mississippi, I'm like, okay, they haven't swept Mississippi since what? Haven't swept Mississippi and Starkville since so-and-so. I'm like, what is that? Okay, good, glad. But in terms of the stature and growing the conference, and again, this all circles back to the money thing. It all circles back to the NIL thing. Miami shelled out big bucks for that basketball team this year. They're in the Final Four. Now, look, that's not always the case. Not always the case. Some of those other schools didn't do that, but those other schools are going up against other schools that also aren't doing that. The FAUs, the San Diego States are in a realm that other schools aren't. Even UConn is in a realm in the conference that they're in that they're not competing with other schools that are shelling out big bucks like that. Miami is in the ACC. In the SEC, you are. So this thing about, hey, FAU didn't make the Final Four, so we don't have to shell out big bucks either because they didn't shell out big bucks. You're not competing in the same atmosphere as them. You're not. You have to do more. You have to do things differently. You have to build in a different brand. You have to go down a different path. So SEC supremacy. After seeing, and think about what it would do for basketball. Think about what it would do just in all. You could bring back the Miami-Florida rivalry. There's so much you could do with it. So much you could do with it. And when's the last time you sat there and thought to yourself, man, I can't wait for this Mississippi State Florida basketball game. Boy, I can't wait for this Ole Miss Florida football game. Can't wait for it. Can't wait for this South Carolina Florida game. You had Duke, North Carolina to the fold. You had Miami to the fold. Again, I'm all about growth and progress, and sometimes that means leaving people behind. You got to keep Vanderbilt because Vanderbilt has the Nashville market. It's about market sizes and pumping in your product into those market sizes and asking for more money via stream, via more money. Like there's surplus charges and charges when even with like DirecTV for the SEC network, and you get Florida games, they charge you a couple extra bucks a month. Navin Johnson, the jerk, right? It's a profit thing. It's a profit thing. Seth Harp on Sports with you here on this Tuesday. PodUp with Matthews in the morning, courtesy of Doring Mortgage, Chris Doring Mortgage. They do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today, 352-244-0840. That's 352-244-0840. Okay. Gators, Florida State, baseball. And, this is one of these things that I'm about making things interesting during the week more. I am. I want to see fun stuff. And I was thinking about this. You know how Florida State is a Tuesday series? I would love to see Miami become that as well. I would. I'd love to see a Tuesday game down in Miami, a Tuesday game here, and a Tuesday game where? Tampa? I was sitting here thinking Florida State. Okay, I get it. And I know Miami becomes a series. And they played the Hurricanes in the past. Well, played them last year. But, about fan experience, rather than to take Miami and confine it to a 3-game set to start the year, I would, the Florida State thing, proximity, what? Gainesville, Tallahassee's what? 3.5? Miami's what? 4.5? Distance? A little bit longer. But, think about the travel. The thing is, from Florida's perspective, pretty lucky when it comes to travel, right? Don't have to travel nearly as far as the cocktail party that Georgia does. Don't have to travel near as far for that Florida State Florida game in Jacksonville. Don't have to travel near as far as Florida State does. So I was sitting here thinking, like, how awesome would it be to take that Miami series, that Miami 3-game set, and turn that into a Tuesday thing as well. And I know, look, UNF, JU, I don't mind if you play those teams, but playing those teams multiple times a year, no. So I was sitting here thinking about that tonight as they get ready to take on Florida State. I thought, wow, how awesome would it be if Miami were in the same boat of a Tuesday thing, midweek series. So when you think about it, that means 6 weeks of your year, 6 weeks of the midweek games. Of what when we boil down to it, what's it end up being, an 18-week? Is that what it is about? When not quite 18 weeks, right? When it's all said and done, that is it 15? That 6 of those are Florida State or Miami in the middle of the week, and because let's face it, Tuesday games are afterthoughts. They're after. It's an afterthought. Well, here's a window in which you can do something. Let's go do it. Let's make it interesting. So as they get ready to take on Florida State tonight, just something I thought of that, hey, I like the Florida State. I always, much rather than just to shove it into a weekend. I love what these schools have done with this. I love it. I absolutely love it that it's a Tuesday thing. And I would love to see Miami baseball do that as well. By the way, Caglione, Rivera, and Langford. I was sitting here thinking about that this week too, of where these guys are and how special this is. And one of the things that we had talked about throughout the course of the program yesterday was when you all of a sudden, everybody, the destination is great, and I get it. Do you think this team can make the College World Series? Guys, enjoy the season. Enjoy this. You may have these three, maybe the greatest collection, the three amigos, the Holy Trinity that this baseball team's had at the same time. Can you think of a better three at the plate in the history of this program than Rivera, Langford, and Caglione? I mean, I can't. I mean, Jeff Cardozo would be better to dive into that over the course of the last 30, 40 years that, you know, Pat, Robbie Andrew, those guys, Steve Russell, a trinity like this. So again, enjoy them. Enjoy them while you got them, because these guys don't last. They don't. And the whole thing, well, can we make the regional? Can we make the College World Series? Should we go to Omaha? Can we win it? Is it a failure if we – but think about this. Think about if Florida's baseball team this year, and it looks, 5-1 in the conference right now. They look to be on – they're going to win 50 games type of thing. They look, they're legit. It's the best baseball team that this program has had since they won the national title. It is. So now you start to ask yourself this. Now you start to say, okay, if they are the best baseball team that we've had since the team that won the national championship, okay, what are our expectations? To get back to Omaha. Okay, if they don't, oh, what a failure. Failure? I just, again, it's generational, and it's one of these things that when you have a program that's doing what it's doing, full support, full stop. And it's a program that has a chance to, sweep Florida State. And I had to come back last week, but I watched what they're doing, and it's special. And I guess that's one of those things that, you don't realize when you're younger, as you get older, that you say to yourself, wait a second here. I'm going to enjoy this ride a little bit. I'm going to enjoy this journey a little bit. And if you're worried about the College World Series right now, if you're worried about, the regional, it's the equivalent of the person that's at a concert with their phone up and recording the concert or recording a play. Just watch it. Sit back and watch it and enjoy this. Enjoy these next 2 months. We have a basketball program, we don't know what the future is going to be. Struggling. A football program that's struggling. You get a baseball program that has a chance to win it all. If they don't win it all, so what? Enjoy this for the next few months. Enjoy this. The economy's in the... Think about this, right? Think about where we are right now. And I'm not one of these guys that sits around and doom and glooms it. Those people are just exhausting. Like, oh my God, it's a terrible day. It's Tuesday. I can't wait for Friday. Oh my gosh, those people. Oh God. Oh my. But you have a stock market that's in the tank, right? We are a stock market that's in the tank. Politically, the world's a mess. Just arguing and fighting, and it's ridiculous. Oh my gosh, it's toxic. Nobody can have a civil conversation with anybody anymore. Nobody can have a civil conversation with anybody. Look, if you don't believe me, go back and look at the Facebook things. All I did was at the beginning of the show suggest that Florida tries to bring in Bronny James. I don't want woke. Oh my gosh, I'd rather lose. Think about the negativity. All I want is a positive image of this university and this program to get back on track by bringing in one of the top 20 players in the country and having the most popular, maybe sports figure playing in the world right now, a part of the school. And everybody gets upset. Not everybody. People get upset about it. No. Anger, hostility, just venom. You notice I've always got a smile on my face. I want fun. I want interesting. What's wrong with that? And this baseball team is fun, and it's interesting, and it's enjoyable. So I'm not worried. Enjoy these next 2 months. Stock market bad. Basketball program, who knows? Football, oh my gosh, who's the quarterback going to be? We can't compete with Georgia. God, could it be another 6-6 year? Here's something that's good. Here's something that's pliable. Here's something that's tangible. You got maybe, again, with Caglione, Rivera, and Langford, maybe the best trio that this program has ever produced. And they're 5-1. They're in first place in the conference. Yeah, they lost a couple midweek games with what? Their number 4, number 5 guy, and the 5th guy out of the pen. So what? So what? Again, that's like getting mad at Steph Curry because he turned the ball over in the third quarter of a game in which they lost to the what? Bulls in February. Who cares? I mean, this is just one of these things that I see this now. And again, a little older, gray hair, coming in a little bit more, maybe a little wisdom that I sit back and go, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy this. When I go to concerts, I don't record them. Enjoy it. Enjoy these 3. And you're going to hear me say it, enjoy it. This is Gator baseball season, this Gator baseball team. For those of you that have kids or grandkids, just enjoy them because they're going to become bratty teenagers and then they're going to become intolerable high school kids. They are. I hate you. It's coming. So enjoy it. Enjoy this fun. Enjoy this run. There you go. That's a fun for you. Tomorrow, Orlando Thompson of the Orlando Sentinel, he's going to stop by. Orlando has got his fingers on the pulse of NFL draft stock. And he was going to join us today, but he had a couple more things he wanted to work on. What he's hearing about Anthony Richardson, there's this love affair that Anthony Richardson and the Colts were destined. Anthony Richardson and the Colts at 4 and Anthony Richardson, this was going to happen. And what happened was Irsay came out and said, yeah, money's not a problem with Lamar Jackson. We just need to figure out compensation. So you start to think all of a sudden, okay, if that's going to happen and the 4th overall pick goes to Baltimore, then is Anthony Richardson in Baltimore something? Is Anthony Richardson in Baltimore? Is that something now? So as I watch this and I look at this, I can't wait to see how that unfolds, how that next saga works. And Edgar Thompson's got some stuff for us on that. He's going to join us tomorrow. And also he's going to give you like the 3 or 4 spring football position battles that he considers to be those that are the most important things. So that's going to be our midweek flex. And then, of course, we'll look a little bit more and then look back on Florida State and Florida and have some other fun things for you there as well. And a quick reminder, PodUp with Matthews in the morning is a courtesy of Doreen Wiebe, Coldwell Banker, MM Parish Realtor, was to help your dreams come true and the dreams of owning your new home. Call her today, 352-562-1411. That's 352-562-1411 to buy or sell your home in the North Central Florida area. Greg, Colts want Lamar? Yeah. So, but the thing was, for the longest time, for the last 2 weeks, and I actually have somebody that I know that works in Indy, that the Colts really liked Anthony Richardson, really liked him. Okay, what does this mean then? If just because I like you doesn't mean this person's going to like you. So if the Colts really like Anthony Richardson and they end up deciding we're going to go with Lamar Jackson instead, if the Ravens don't like Lamar, let's say the Ravens don't for whatever reason, let's say they're a Levis, let's say there's something like that, then all of a sudden you start to look at where this thing slides. Because look, if the Ravens are trading away 4, they're drafting a quarterback at 4. And does Anthony fit in Baltimore? It would seem so. It would seem that he would fit. It seems that he would be a nice fit in Baltimore. It does. So I wonder if this does, again, you got a long way to go. And the problem is, this is what Irsay was letting on, that Lamar wants his contract fully guaranteed. Lamar wants like a 4-year, $200 million deal, every penny guaranteed. And the Colts are like, we're not doing that. We're not going to be on the hook for $50 million in year 4 of this. We're not doing that. Isn't that amazing how football works that way? Baseball, nobody even blinks an eye. $400 million over 13 years? Sure. Don't have a salary cap. Things that you can move. All right, I need to thank Darren and the whole gang, everybody with PodUp with Matthews in the morning, Wiebe Productions, and the whole 9 yards. Again, things to think about. LeBron James, Bronny James coming to Florida.